Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 23rd of May and today we have to see 10 questions along with some additional facts. And in these questions today we will see what is obstetric fistula, details about G7 and the newly developed testing kit for COVID-19, details about ESJet, sonic booms and a NASA mission which was in news, and details about Prime Minister Vyay Vandana Yojana and many other facts. So be attentive, be focused till the end. But first you have to answer this question in the comment section. The question is Konark Sun Temple is located in. These are the options. Read the options carefully and then answer. Let's move ahead now. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel Students Point and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day with all the latest important videos of this channel. So let's begin now. The first question. International Day to End Obstetric Fistula 2020 is observed on. So this day to end Obstetric Fistula 2020 is observed on 23rd of May every year. So here A is the right answer. And the theme for this year is End Gender Inequality, End Health Inequities and End Fistula Now. I repeat, End Gender Inequality, End Health Inequities and Fistula Now. Now the question arises that what is obstetric fistula? It is an injury that can occur during childbirth and it is a hole between birth canal and the bladder or rectum caused by prolonged obstructed labor without treatment. However, it is very much preventable by taking some steps like delaying the age of first pregnancy, cessation of harmful traditional practices, and because of this disease, women in the society are being forced to live in poor conditions. They are forced into the conditions of poverty, social stigma and mental depressions. And every year more than 10,000 women suffer from this disease. The next question now. G7 or Group of Seven, an intergovernmental organization was formed in. So this organization was formed in the year of 1975. So here B is the right answer. And G7 is a bloc of industrialized democracies which include Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom and United States. However, later on Russia was also included in this group, but because of Russia's annexation of Crimea, which was part of Ukraine in 2014, this group of seven decided to expel Russia from this group. So this group was earlier called as G8 when Russia was member of it, but Russia was expelled after annexation of Crimea. So now this group is G7 and it includes this member only. And summits are held annually and hosted on a rotation basis by group's member. Recently this group was in news because President of United States made an announcement to host the 46th G7 summit in person instead of video conferencing. So remember that it will be the 46th conference of or summit of G7, and India did participate in the 45th summit which was organized in Biarritz in France. If you have been following the news continuously, you must have known and read the news during that time that India participated in the 45th summit in Biarritz in France. This shows the growing and increasing strategic relationship between India and these seven group countries. The next question now. International Day for Biological Diversity is observed on. So this day is observed every year on 22nd of May. This question is very important. In several examinations they have already asked these questions and they even repeat the previous year questions. So remember that this day for biological diversity is observed on 22nd of May. And the theme for this year is Our Solutions Are in Nature. I repeat, our solutions are in nature. And recently you must remember in this context that Earth Hour was observed on 28th of March 2020, which encourages people to switch off the lights from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. that is for 1 hour as per their local time to prevent Earth from global warming. And the resolution to celebrate and observe this day was adopted in the year of 1992 itself, but initially this day was observed on December 29th instead of May 22nd. Why it was celebrated on December 29th? This was celebrated to remember the day on which the Convention on Biological Diversity came into effect. This Convention on Biological Diversity, in short called as CBD. However, later on, the day was shifted to May 22nd to commemorate the famous Rio Earth Summit. The next question now, again the very important question. Consider the following statements about Agape Chitra Magna. See, Agape Chitra Magna. It is a magnetic nanoparticle based RNA extraction kit for use during testing for detection of COVID-19. This statement is correct. See, in this testing kit, magnetic nanoparticles will be used, and what these nanoparticles will do, it will actually accumulate this RNA virals or viral RNAs, and it will give the result whether the patient has this viral RNAs or not. If the patient have those RNAs, then the result is positive. If the patient don't have, then the result is quite obvious, negative. The next statement now, it was developed by Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute for Medical Science and Technology based in Tiruvandhuram and the Agape Diagnostic Limited, which is based in Cochin. This statement is also correct. So here both of these statements are correct. C is the right answer. Next question now. The Kasturi Rangam Committee, which was related to protecting biodiversity of which region? So this Kasturi Rangam Committee is a very famous committee, and it was related to protect the biodiversity of Western Ghat, and this question has been asked in many examinations including IAS prelims examinations. So it was related to protecting the Western Ghat, and this committee recommended to declare 37% of area of Western Ghat as ecologically sensitive area. And this committee, as I told, had recommended that 6 states where this Western Ghat extends, which includes Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, may be declared as ESA. Remember that in examination they will ask you, and students and aspirants confuse, that this Western Ghat don't extend to Gujarat. However, this Western Ghat extends to Gujarat as well. Let's see it through the map. See, here is the Western Ghat, and here is the minor or a small area which extends to Gujarat as well, as this is Gujarat and this is the colored part of this Western Ghat which extends to Gujarat. So it extends to Gujarat. Here is the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and some part of it extends to Goa as well. And this Western Ghat Ecology Expert Committee, there was one more committee which was called as Western Ghats Ecology Expert Panel. Remember that this Western Ghats Ecology Expert Panel was headed by Madhav Gadgil and not by Kasturi Rangam. In examination they will confuse you that this was chaired by Kasturi Rangam, but that will be wrong. It was headed by Madhav Gadgil, and it is also called as Gadgil Committee. This Gadgil Committee was appointed in the year of 2011. However, the recommendations of Gadgil Committee for the protection of Western Ghat were not acceptable to the states or the 6 states where this Western Ghat extends. Why? Because these states were cautious that if the recommendations of Gadgil Committee are implemented, then their tourism industry will be affected, as Gadgil Committee recommended to consider and declare more than or around 65% of the total area of Western Ghat into ecologically sensitive area or ecologically sensitive zone. So after declaring this around 65% of area as ESZ, tourism industry will be affected, as these are the restricted zone and very fewer activities are allowed in this ESA or ESZ. And Madhav Gadgil Committee divided this Western Ghat into 3 zones based on the priority for protection. And this Western Ghat, let's have some details about Western Ghat. It is also called as Sahyadri or the Benevolent Mountains. Remember, it is also called as Sahyadri or the Benevolent Mountains, and these are the mountain range that covers around 14,000 km square area, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is also one of the 8 hottest hotspots of biological diversity in world. And it is also called as the Great Escarpment of India. Remember, in exam they will ask you that which part of India is known as the Great Escarpment of India, whether it is Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat or the Himalayan region, So remember that it is Western Ghat. And Annamudi, which is located in Kerala, is the highest peak on Western Ghat. I repeat, Annamudi, located in Kerala, is the highest peak on Western Ghat. The next question now. Consider the following statements about eco-sensitive areas. It is also called as ESZs or ESAs. Say, and these are located within the 10 kilometers area around protected areas, national parks, and wildlife sanctuaries. This is correct. And this ESZ areas acts as buffer zone. These are the core areas. These are areas protected, and very few activities are allowed within it. And these are notified by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change under the Environment Protection Act 1986. So this statement is also correct. Remember the act, EPA 1986. So here again C is the right answer. The next question now. Consider the following statements about sonic boom. See, sonic boom is the sound associated with the shock waves created whenever an object travels through the air faster than speed of sound. This statement is correct. Whenever an object travels faster than speed of sound in air, then a wave is generated which is called as sonic boom, and it generates enormous amount of sound energy and sound similar to an explosion or an thunderclap to human ear. So here again both of these statements are correct, and this is how sonic booms look like, and it was recently in news because a flight was tested in Bangalore which released this sonic boom. The next question now. Which astronaut is to board on NASA's Demo 2 mission? So it is Douglas Hurley and Robert Painkin, which is going to board this NASA's Demo 2 mission. So here both A and B is the right answer, so D is the correct option. And on May 27, 2020, NASA's SpaceX Demo 2 test flight will lift off for International Space Stations. We have many times discussed details about ISS. It is actually a observatory in the space which revolves around 400 km from the Earth, that is in the lower Earth orbit, and in this crew members stay and works for several research purposes. And it will be the first crewed flight to launch from American soil since the conclusion of a space shuttle era in 2011. So it was the year of 2011 which was the last year when US sent personnel from its own soil from space shuttle to ISS, and now it is 2020 again when US is going to send astronauts to ISS from its own soil. And these two astronauts will fly on Crew Dragon spacecraft. They may ask you the name of this spacecraft which is related to Demo 2 mission. So it is Crew Dragon spacecraft, and this spacecraft will lift off from a Falcon 9 rocket from Florida. See, rocket, what is the purpose of rocket? Rocket actually is the carrier of this spacecraft in which these personnel are to be seated, and this rocket will take the personnel to ISS where they will be aboarded to ISS, and then the purpose will be end. The next question now, which country became the second largest producer of PPE, that is personal protective equipment? So India has become the second largest producer of PPE, and the largest producer of PPE as of now is China. So this is the present data. It may change later on, but till now you have to remember that India is the second largest producer and China is the largest producer of PPE. And India is now producing 2.06 lakh PPE kits every day. The next question now, Pradhan Mantri Vay Vandana Yojana was launched by, so it was launched by Ministry of Finance. So here B is the right answer. And Pradhan Mantri Vay Vandana Yojana was launched in the year of 2017. It offers a guarantee pension to senior citizens every month, and a beneficiary can invest only up to amount of rupees 15 lakh in this Pradhan Mantri Vay Vandana Yojana, and the tenure for this policy is up to 10 years. The minimum pension a beneficiary is eligible to get under this scheme is rupees 1000 per month, and the highest or the maximum pension a beneficiary can get is rupees 10,000 per month. However, this pension amount will be based on the amount contributed by the beneficiary, and this scheme can be purchased offline as well as online through the LIC, that is Life Insurance Corporation, and the scheme is exempted from all GSTs. And recently Union Cabinet has decided to extend the tenure for this scheme for 3 years, that is till March 2023. Now let's see some facts now. Uttar Pradesh government has launched UP Start Fund to encourage the youth to take entrepreneurship so that it may provide jobs to those who have migrated to UP from different states. And recently, scientists at Pune based Agarkar Research Institute have mapped two alternative dwarfing genes, that is RST14 and RST18. These are genes of wheat that can help in reducing rice crop residue burning, that is stubble burning, and ultimately it will control the pollution level. So share and like the video if you find it useful, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you receive all the notifications and learn all the facts, and answer the question in the comment section. Wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay at your home, stay safe, and thanks a lot.